Welcome to Facebook Live. This is Trainer Joe. Today we're talking about walking the talk, why I do what I do. The first part of that is why I behave the way I do when it comes to eating and exercise. And to put it very simply, I do what I do because it makes more sense to do that than not to. And I think it comes down to that for everybody. If it makes more sense to do it than not to do it, we do it. For most people, it makes more sense to skip a workout than to do the workout. So they skip the workout, and that's just the way it ends up. For me, it makes more sense to do the things that have gotten me to where I am. Also, I was fortunate to have parents, particularly my mom, who was at home with us most of the time, teaching me that you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's about it. At least that's the way I remember it. A snack was a treat, not a right. Anything between meals. And I remember her saying, don't eat that, it'll spoil your dinner. And she meant it. Don't eat it. It'll spoil your dinner. What else did she say? Growing up, we didn't have snacks available. I remember sneaking downstairs. We had a utility room, pantry, and I would be kind of hungry between meals, and I'd be looking at anything I can eat. Usually it was just ingredients, no real food there to enjoy, but occasionally I'd see some artificial maple syrup, and I'd take the cap off, and I'd pour some into the cap and drink it out of the cap, put the cap back on. Or I'd be hanging out with friends in the neighborhood, and we'd see somebody that had an apple tree, and we'd eat apples or blackberry bush and blackberries, and I'd be like, I get to eat between meals. It was kind of a special thing, That's not necessarily common. May have been more common 40 years ago, 50 years ago, but now there is a tendency, if you feel like eating, you should let people eat. That wasn't the way that I was raised, and I think my kids are also aware that after eating a certain amount, basically you're going to be wearing the stuff that you eat. So there's just a connection that a lot of people, frankly, just don't make that connection. So that's why I live that way. The exercise part of that is just, if I don't do it, I'm not going to have this fitness that I enjoy. It just makes more sense to do it. I'm not fanatical about it. And I've never looked back and regretted putting effort into eating reasonable and exercising in a reasonable manner. There is a possibility somebody would regret the time they spent at the gym, and I think that would be if they are fanatical about it and overdo it. We're just talking about a basic level of fitness and eating reasonably, which most people struggle with that. The reason, now number two, why I do what I do as far as helping other people, I think comes down to this. I heard a preacher say, if you're wondering what you should do with your life, he said, consider the possibility that the thing that ticks you off might be the thing that makes you tick. And that's true for me and my profession, or you might even say my ministry, what I do to help people with their weight issues. Most people struggle with weight loss. I walk them through a process that teaches you to look at food and weight loss in a whole new way so you can lose weight and keep it off. And one of the reasons I do that is because it's a choice. It's not something that is so complicated that some can and some can't. Everybody can. And so for me, it's like I get to remove the layers of confusion, or that they feel like they can't do it, and I get to say, well, really, you can. Now, not everybody's going to choose to do it because there's some difficulty there, but that's all it is. There's some difficulty, but there's never the impossibility, and that excites me, because anybody that comes to me and says, I want to do this and I'm willing to do what you tell me, it's going to happen, which is, you can't say that for a lot of things. Some things are just too mysterious, whether it's an injury. I had a shoulder injury. They don't know. We can try this, we can try that. Maybe this, maybe that. Weight loss isn't that way, and I love when somebody's ready to be able to say, well, here you go. This is how we can do this. So many are suffering needlessly, and I love the opportunity to help them with that. Another piece of this is specifically Christians that have found a lot of blessings and gifts and freedom in the Lord. in areas of addictions, whether it's alcohol or pornography or anger or just things going on in their lives that are really destructive, and they're getting freedom in that through God's grace, but they're over here with the food thing, not getting freedom in that, and not necessarily taking it as seriously as they need to. So what ends up happening is they're not getting taken out by crack or alcohol. They're getting taken out with their fork. That kind of makes me angry. That shouldn't be happening. But we don't look at it correctly. There's a deception, I think, there. And behind every self-destructive thing we do is a lie we believe. And that's really the case here. There's lies we believe, so we end up getting taken out with our fork. We lose our credibility. We lose our health. We lose our lives. More people, more Americans die from obesity-related illnesses than alcohol, drugs, gunshot. It's the fork. So that motivates me. That makes me get to enjoy what I do. It's just more slowly. With our fork, it's more slowly, which makes it tricky, because if people died the moment they ate a Big Mac, we'd know, don't do that. But they don't. It's a very slow process, and we end up, oh, what happened to so-and-so? Well, they're, So that's me. That's why I do what I do. If you need some help with this, a couple of options for you. One, if you haven't gotten my book yet, we're going to post a link so you can grab that off of Amazon. And if you also need to come to a group, just come to Frankfurt tomorrow night. You're late, but we're going to let you in, and we'll give you a discount, and we'll post a link for that too. We've started, but we'll send you the video. We'll catch you up tomorrow. That's at Frankfurt Country Club at 7 o'clock Thursday, October 10th. In the Bourbon Room. Probably not going to be having bourbon, but come on in, and we'll get you started there. If you have any questions, just post them on here. We'll answer them for you. Hope that was helpful to you. God bless. Have a wonderful week. I'm Trainer Joe, helping you train your brain and transform your body.